Ready for a deep dive. Today we're exploring breath-watching meditation.
Oh, interesting.
We've got excerpts from a guide on this ancient practice and an interview with someone who says it totally changed their life.
I'm intrigued. So are we talking about like deep breathing exercises?
That's what I thought at first too, but it's more than that. This guide we've got says breath-watching meditation called anapanasati in Buddhist traditions.
Okay.
It's not just about filling your lungs, it's about using your breath as a tool
A tool for what?
to anchor your attention.
Oh, I see. Like a focal point.
Exactly. And through that, you find stillness and calm.
Makes sense. So not about forcing some weird breathing pattern.
Nope. The guide emphasizes that it's about tapping into your natural rhythm. Your body already knows how to breathe.
Right.
It's about getting your mind on board.
I like that. Using what's already there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this guide doesn't just tell you to breathe and be calm. It dives into some pretty powerful stories.
Oh, like what?
So there's this guy, Danilo.
Okay.
He's dealing with a cancer diagnosis.
Oh, wow.
And on top of that, he has this intense fear of enclosed spaces, claustrophobia.
That's a tough combination.
To make matters worse, his treatment radiation therapy often involves wearing a mask,
Oh, no.
to protect certain areas.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
And he is terrified. Totally understandable.
Completely. So how did he cope?
Here's where it gets interesting. His doctor suggests something you might not expect.
Let me guess. Meditation.
You got it.
Wow. To combat claustrophobia during cancer treatment? That's pretty out there.
Right. But it actually reflects a bigger trend in medicine, using things like meditation along with traditional treatments.
Interesting. So it's not just a new age thing anymore.
Not at all. It's becoming more mainstream.
So did it work for Danilo?
The guide says he started practicing breath-watching meditation, and incredibly, he was able to go through his radiation treatments without those panic attacks he dreaded.
That's amazing.
It really shows you the potential, especially in tough situations. Like, he tapped into a strength he didn't even know he had.
I wonder if that's something we all have. That inner strength.
I think so. And what's even more interesting is that this isn't just one story. There's more and more scientific evidence backing this up.
Really? So we're talking about ancient wisdom meeting modern science.
Exactly. And both are saying, pay attention to your breath. There's power in it. Makes you wonder, if it's that powerful, why aren't we all doing it?
Right. Like what else can breath watching do?
That's what I'm thinking. Well, our next source might have some answers. It's an interview with Arden, a businesswoman, who says breath watching totally changed her approach to work and life in general.
Oh, I like her already. So how'd she get into it?
Okay, so she talks about how for years she was all about networking, thought it was the key to success, always pushing her team to make connections, the whole deal.
Yeah, makes sense, especially in business. It's all about who you know, right?
Exactly. But get this, after she finds breath watching, her whole perspective flips.
How so?
She starts seeing meditation as its own kind of exercise, like a workout.
For your mind instead of your body.
Exactly. And she takes it seriously. Like she says, she now chooses meditation over some networking events.
Wow, really? That's commitment.
Right. She realized all that clarity and focus from meditation, it actually helps her more than just, surface level connections over drinks.
Interesting. So it's not just about feeling zen, it's actually giving her a competitive edge.
Totally. And there's this one story she tells about a job interview.
Love a good interview story. Lay it on me.
So she's going for this big time position, like top tier company, the kind of interview that would make anyone sweat. But she walks in feeling calm, collected.
Okay, impressive.
And just when she thinks she's got it handled, the interviewer throws a curveball.
Uh-oh. What happened?
A writing assignment. On the spot.
You're kidding. What did they ask her to write about?
Her vision for the role. And she's got, no time to do it.
Talk about pressure. So how'd she handle that?
This is where the meditation kicks in. Instead of freaking out, she takes a second, centers herself, uses her breath watching. It's like her mind just clears. She finds this flow state, and the words just come pouring out.
No way. She's writing a masterpiece under pressure.
Basically. Later, the interviewer tells her that her writing was a huge reason they hired her.
Wow. Talk about unlocking your potential. It's like breath watching gave her superpowers.
Right. And it makes you think, what else would we be capable of if we tapped into that?
For sure. But I'm curious, how did she even learn to do all this? Like, where did she start?
Well, she talks about how she first discovered breath watching back in college.
Oh, college. Stressful time.
Tell me about it. She was feeling lost, overwhelmed, the whole 9 yards.
I've been there. So what happened?
She stumbled across a book by this Vietnamese monk, Thich Nhat Hanh.
Okay, I know him. Mindfulness guru, right?
That's the one. And something about his words just click for her. So she starts trying out meditation, just looking for a little peace in the chaos of college life.
I can relate to that. So did it work right away? The meditation, I mean.
She says at first it felt impossible. The whole sitting still thing. Her mind was racing, her body wouldn't cooperate.
Yeah, I feel that. Like, how are you supposed to quiet your mind? It never stops.
Exactly. So she starts experimenting, trying to find something she could actually stick with.
What'd she end up doing?
She found this practice where she'd hold her breath, count to 10, and repeat.
Interesting. Sounds simple enough.
Right. But she says that focus, the counting, it helped her find stillness.
Huh. It's amazing how sometimes the simplest things can be the most effective.
Totally. And she says the key is consistency. Just like exercise, the more you do it, the stronger you get.
So the more you practice breath watching, the better you get at focusing, calming your mind.
Exactly. She calls it building muscle memory in your mind.
Muscle memory for your mind. I kind of like that. What does that even mean, though?
She's talking about how over time, you're basically rewiring your brain. Each time you bring your attention back to your breath, you're creating a new pathway.
Interesting. So when stress hits, you've got this automatic response to find that stillness again.
That's the idea. It's not just about those minutes you spend meditating. It's about changing how you react to everything else.
Wow. So breath watching is like training for life.
It kind of is. And Arden's story shows that it can change how you handle pressure, how you show up in the world.
And ultimately, how successful you become. Powerful stuff.
Okay, I'm sold. Sign me up for this mental training. But how does she actually do it? Is Arden off meditating in a cave somewhere?
Oh, no. She actually keeps it pretty simple. She talks about waking up using a meditation app on her phone.
Oh, so like anyone else, no mountaintop retreat required.
Maybe someday. But yeah, she makes it work in her daily life. Just finds a quiet corner, puts on some calming music through the app, sets it for 45 minutes, and she's good to go.
45 minutes, that's dedication. So what's she doing that whole time? Just like breathing.
It is pretty amazing. It sounds so simple, but according to her, it works wonders. She says it's not about forcing her breath or anything, or like trying to breathe in a certain way. It's about using her breath as almost like an anchor for her attention.
I think I get it, like a focal point to keep her from getting distracted.
Exactly. Whenever thoughts pop up, she just gently brings her focus back to her breath. Inhaling, exhaling.
So it's that simple, just noticing your breath.
Well, there is a bit more to it. See, Arden, she picks something up from that guidebook we talked about earlier.
Right.
She says she doesn't just watch her chest move up and down. It's not about the physical sensation of breathing.
Then what is it?
She focuses on the breath itself.
That sounds kind of abstract. What does she mean by that?
It's subtle, but think of it this way. Instead of just observing your body breathing, she's tapping into something deeper, like a life force that comes with each breath.
Whoa. Okay, I think I see what you mean. It's like connecting to something bigger, beyond the physical.
Right. And Arden says that when your mind gets quiet like that, even for a little bit, that's when the peace and clarity comes in.
So it's not just relaxation. It's like training your mind to be more aware, more resilient.
Exactly. And what's really cool is how this practice, this focus on something as simple as your breath, it impacts everything. Your inner world, your work, your well-being, just like we saw with Danilo and Arden.
Right. They both have these incredible transformations. So we've talked about what it is, why it matters, but how do we actually do it? Any tips for our listeners who want to give this a try?
Well, the guidebook has this really helpful two-step technique to get started.
Perfect. Let's hear it.
First step is all about releasing tension, physical tension. They suggest something called even count breathing. You breathe in for a count of 4, hold it for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, and repeat.
Simple, but I can see how that would be calming, like hitting the reset button.
Exactly. Then once you've done that for a bit, the guide says the key to the breath watching part is to observe your breath without trying to control it. Notice the natural rhythm, the sensations, and if your mind wanders, just gently guide it back.
No judgment, just observation. I like that.
Right. The guide also mentions some more advanced techniques, but for starting out, they emphasize keeping it simple.
So that there's room to grow with the practice, too. It's not one size fits all.
Definitely not. And I think the most important thing the guide emphasizes is to be curious, be open to the experience, and find what works for you.
I love that. It really is about tapping into this power we all have within us, our breath.
It is pretty amazing when you think about it. If paying attention to your breath can help people overcome phobias, succeed in their careers, and find some peace, imagine what else it could do for
Okay.
all of us.
Now that's a question worth pondering. What could be possible if we all tapped into the power of our breath? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you tried breath watching? What techniques work for you? Share your experiences in the comments, and until next time, keep diving deep.